52 Iranian sites representing the 52 American hostages taken by Iran many years ago, some at a very high level and important to Iran and the Iranian culture. Those targets and Iran itself will be hit very fast, very hard. The USA wants no more threats. So that's the president's view. Let's bring in Mike Huckabee, Fox News contributor, former governor of Arkansas, former GOP presidential candidate. Happy Sunday. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So react to what the president is saying. He's got a lot of critics out there. And how does he balance what he promised in the 2016 campaign? Protecting America, but not getting us in another endless war.
Well, one of the things people seem to forget is the president hasn't said we're going to send troops in, we're going to try to rebuild a country, we're not going to try to do nation building or regime change. What we're trying to do is to take out the people who have murdered Americans. This goon killed over 600 Americans directly, responsible for tens of thousands, if not millions, of deaths of Iranians and other people across the world. And for the Democrats and the media to be just mourning his death like he's some kind of hero. I mean, this guy makes Charles Manson look like a Franciscan monk, for heaven's sakes. And what was he doing in Iraq, driving around in a car from the airport? Was he cruising by to get a Sonic burger? No, he was there to carry on what he had already started, and that was attack the U.S. Embassy. The president ought to be applauded. And I can't imagine what's wrong with people if they want a country to be a loser country, a patsy, a country that always apologizes for being strong, then vote for these Democrats. But I'm just beyond offended for the simple reason that when Barack Obama took out Osama bin Laden, we all celebrated it. Republican, Democrat, it was an American celebration to get rid of this guy that launched 9/11. Why can't the left appreciate what this president has done? It's beyond me.
Well, they can't. Far from a celebration. Instead, as you've mentioned, Governor, it's been a condemnation. Here's a tweet from Senator Elizabeth Warren, if you can barely believe it. Said, "You're threatening to commit war crimes. We are not at war with Iran. The American people do not want a war with Iran. This is a democracy," which we're not. "You do not get to start a war with Iran, and your threats put our troops and diplomats at greater risk. Stop." So apparently now tweeting that you have targets, that you will defend your interests and your people, is committing a war crime?
Well, she's just told us what kind of president she would be. God forbid should she ever become president. And any American who would vote for someone who says, I will never do anything to protect America or Americans. You know, Bob Levinson has been stuck there as a hostage in Iran for years. This is a president who has done more to try to get American hostages out of countries, be it North Korea, Iran, Turkey, than anybody has ever done. And he puts skin in the game to get that happening. Elizabeth Warren apparently thinks Iran is just a wonderful group of government people. She forgets that the people of Iran have tried to unshackle themselves from this oppressive government, and every time they do, they get murdered and put in mass graves. If she defends that, she has no business being president of the United States. She has no business being president of the local Rotary Club, for heaven's sakes.
Governor, can you speak briefly to the notion of congressional authority and also congressional notification?
Well, you know, Nancy Pelosi and all the Democrats were whining because they didn't get notified. Can you have seen telling Adam Schiff in advance? He would have held a press conference and even given the coordinates of where the attack was going to take place. These people aren't trustworthy. But more than that, he did notify them in the 48 hours that was required. And I just want to mention that they would not have been happy even had he brought them into the Situation Room at the White House and let them see it all live. They would have said, well, the video quality wasn't as good as the last cartoon we saw. These people are crazy. I'm sorry, but they're crazy. They've lost their minds. They cannot accept anything the president does, even when it is in their and the Americans' best interest.
You're exactly right. Governor, thank you so much. Appreciate your insight this morning.
Thanks, Governor.
You bet. Have a great day, guys.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.